All right, folks, today we're going to make these awesome wiggly, jiggly, bouncy pumpkins, and they're pretty easy to make. We're gonna start with a sheet of paper laying down horizontally, so it's gonna be sideways. We're gonna turn it into a book by folding it. We place our hand on one side, and we're gonna grab the other, bring it over to the edge, make sure it's nice and straight, and seal up the edge. I like to use my fingernail so it's nicely pressed. Now we're gonna go ahead and get a ruler and line it up with the open side. We're going to be making strips of paper, cutting up and down along the folded edge for our pumpkin. And if we're cutting through two at the same time, whoopsies, we're going to end up doing it a lot faster than if we did it without. So if you saw me spread my hands out, that's because my ruler kept on slipping, but it's not the end of the world. Just gonna go ahead, slide and line it up. Slide and line it up. And we're gonna be left with this little kind of folded bit at the edge. Don't worry about that, we're just going to get rid of it. All right, now that we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 strips, we're gonna go ahead and cut. Now you can do this with the zigzag scissors if you would like. They're on the floor next to where I usually do my demos, but they are going to be more difficult to use. If you want a fun zigzaggy pumpkin and or a challenge, you are welcome to use them. Now as I'm cutting, because I'm cutting from the side that was opened up and ending with that weird little side, my paper is gonna stay put. If you start cutting from the folded side, you're gonna end up with all of it falling apart and slipping and sliding, and it's really difficult. So I take my little super long tent guy and just stick him to the side. I'm gonna take all of my pieces and stick them together. And now I'm going to go ahead and get a hole punch. This bit is gonna be a little difficult, so I'm gonna show you how to fix it so you can work on it on your own without a super strong grip's help. So I've got my hole punch, and I'm using the silver ones. You might see that I've got the really cool ones with the handles that are colored, but those are gonna be too small. I've also got a paper clip. I'm going to paper clip my pieces together by sticking the long edge on the top and pressing, and then sliding it in. Now we're cutting through 8 pieces of paper, which is gonna be really hard on our hands. So we can pull 1, 2, 3, 4, stick our hole punch in the middle, and confetti! I'm gonna line that back up, and you can see the hole. If I can line the hole punch there, it's a lot easier to squeeze. Ta-da! Now once we have this hole right up at the top, we're going to stick one of these brass brads in there. Now brass brad looks kind of like a nail with these 2 little bits. One is longer so it's easy to peel back, and then we can get the short one after that. So I'm gonna take my hole, slide the brad through, and hold it with my thumb. Can flip it over and keep it in place with my fingers, bend it this way, bend it that way, and it's done. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom, so I'm just gonna slide my paper clip up. And remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. Punch, line up, and punch. And before I do my second brad, I might want to make a little leaf for my pumpkin. You could also do a stem, so if you would like to do that, brown or green paper is great. I grabbed some out of the scrap bins, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a cute little leaf for my pumpkin. This one's going to be tiny, so that's kind of funny. Pumpkin leaves are actually kind of heart-shaped, and even if they weren't, that's just cute. Give it a little hole punch, and we're just gonna line it up. Brad goes through, hold it with my thumb, brace it with my fingers, and peel it to each side. Congratulations, you've got a funky little strip. Now what? We're going to take the top piece, very top right here, and we're going to slide it around until we have a beautiful, fashionable pumpkin bracelet that's too darn big. We're gonna do the same thing over and over again. We're gonna take the top piece, slide it over, take the top piece, slide it over, take the top piece, slide it over, top piece, if your fingers work, you slide it over, take the top piece and slide it over. Boop! And I got one more. And there we go. Of course, you can kind of organize those so they're a little perfectly spread out. And you have your wiggly jiggly little pumpkin. Feel free to decorate this however you want. You can draw things on it. It doesn't have to be a Halloween pumpkin if you don't do that. Pumpkins are just super fun vegetables that start growing around fall. Who doesn't love a squash? So go ahead and enjoy.